welcome all of you to SST College of Arts and Commerce, Ulhasnagar. This is SST Edupedia. Myself, Assistant Professor Sunetra Katekar, Department from IT CS. So today I am going to start a course named Embedded Introduction to Embedded System, and today's topic is Core of Embedded System. So first we have to take the different contents today's session. So first one is general purpose and domain specific processors. Second, difference between microprocessor and microcontrollers. Digital signal processors. Difference between hardware architecture and Von-Neumann architecture. Fifth, difference between RISC and CISC processor or controller. ADNs and their types, and ASIC. These are our today's contents. So first I am going to start general purpose and domain specific processor. What is mean by general purpose processor? So almost 80% of embedded systems are processors and control based. Means the processor may be microprocessor or a microcontroller or a digital signal processor. So depending on domain and application. So already we are discussed about special purpose software, special purpose systems. So that means your embedded system. So these processors use special kind of digital signal processors supplied by manufacturers like Analog Devices, Texas Instruments, etc. So we are using general purpose and with domain specific processors are used in our embedded system. So our next point, which is difference between microprocessor and microcontrollers. So microprocessor is a silicon chip representing a central processing unit, so which is capable of performing arithmetical as well as logical operations, so according to a predefined set of instructions. Again, microcontroller is highly integrated chip. This is the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller, that contains CPU also, but scratch pad, RAM, special and general purpose registers, arrays on chip, ROM or flash memory, or we can say different storage, program storage devices. So timer and interpret also control units, and dedicated input output ports are there in our microcontroller in a single chip. So again, microprocessor most of the time it is a general purpose in design and operations. Again, microcontroller mostly application based or application oriented and domain specific purpose. So microprocessor is a dependent unit. It requires combination of other chips like timer, program and data memory, chips, interprets, controller for functioning. And microcontroller, it is a self-contained. Again, this is an important difference, which is microcontroller is self-contained unit and it does not require external interpret controller. So this is in a single chip which is together all the components, timer for its functioning. So microprocessor does not contain a built-in I/O port. The I/O port functionality needs to be implemented with the help of external programmable peripheral interface chips. And microcontroller, most of the processor contain multiple built-in I/O ports which can be operated as signal 8 or 16 bit or 32 bits port or as individual pins, most pins. So these are the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. Now we are saying this digital signal processor, which is DSP. So they are powerful special purpose 8 or 16 or 32-bit microprocessor designed specially to meet the computational demands and power constraints of today's embedded audio, video and communication applications. That means DSP is used for different embedded system. We are using, or we can say we are using in embedded system for a particular multimedia, that means audio, video and different communication applications. So DSP are 2 to 3 times faster than general purpose microprocessors in signal processing applications. So this is because of the architectural difference between these two. Now next, digital signal processor again can be viewed as a microchip designed for performing high speed. Again, high speed is the main important part in our DSP. So computational operations for different arithmetical operations, we can say addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Okay, these are the digital signal processor. Now our next point, which is difference between hardware architecture and von Neumann architecture. So first difference is microprocessor or microcontroller based on hardware architecture will have separate data bus and instructions bus. We are known about bus lines or bus and like address bus, data bus. So here in hardware architecture we are using separate data buses are used for our operations. So in von Neumann architecture, microprocessor or microcontroller based on von Neumann architecture shares a single common bus for fetching both instructions and data. That means we have to use only one single common bus which our data is sending or receiving at a time. Next difference, which is comparatively high cost. Obvious, we are using different separate bus lines, so that's why high cost is essential. Now von Neumann architecture, it is cheaper compared to hardware. So data memory and program memory are stored physically in different locations. No chances exist for accidental corruption of program memory. Obvious, there are different or separate data buses, so it is we can say ki minimum chances are to corrupt the data. And von Neumann architecture accidentally corruption of program. So these are an important part in our microprocessor and microcontroller. Again, difference between RISC and CISC processor or controllers. So RISC, which is instruction pipeline and increase execution speed. We are using the data in our different bus lines, so that is pipeline. So instructions pipeline and increased execution speed, obviously fast. So in CISC generally no instructions pipelining features. Again, RISC operations are performed on registers only. So the only memory operations are load and store. There are data storing in only register, but in CISC operations are performed on registers or memory also. So depending on our instructions, if you want to store in memory, we can use here register or memory. So RISC lesser number of instructions. In CISC there are greater number of instructions are using in CISC. Again, a large number of registers are available in our RISC. So limited numbers of general purpose register in CISC. Now next difference, single and fixed length instructions. This is important. Single and fixed length instructions in RISC. Here variable length instructions means if you want to change the instructions, you can change, or whatever the variable length we can change. So with hardware architecture we using RISC, and here with hardware architecture or Bonneman architecture, both are including in our CISC. So this is a important differences for RISC and CISC. Again, next is NDNSys and their types. So what is mean by NDNSys? So our NDNSys specifies the order in which the data is stored in memory. We have to store our data in our memory, so that there are by processor operations in a form of multi-byte system. So suppose the word length is 2 byte, then data can be stored in memory in two different ways. So that is NDNSys. Like if you are stored the data in memory, so processor, what will processor the operations have done? So multiple in byte system. So that there are types of NDNSys processors, which is first one is little Indian processors and second is big Indian processors. So in little Indian processors means the lower order bytes of the data is stored. That means lower order bytes are stored in memory in lowest addresses, and the higher order byte at the highest addresses. That means vice versa. If lower bytes, then higher data store in higher address, and higher order byte at the highest addresses in little Indian processors. But in big Indian processors means higher order bytes of the data is stored memory at the lowest addresses, and the lower order byte at the highest processor, vice versa. That means lowest रहेगा तो bytes in highest, and highest है तो lower में. That type of we can store our data in memory. These are the NDNSys and their important types. Now next is application specific integrated circuits, which is we can say ASIC. So what is mean by ASIC? An application specific integrated circuit is a kind of integrated circuit that is specially built for a specific application or specific purpose. So as a single chip, ASIC consumes a very small area in a total system. So thereby helps in design of a smaller system with the high capabilities or functionalities. So for reducing the system development cost, single chip is used. And in ASIC there are three major categories, which is full custom ASICs, semi custom ASICs and platform ASICs. So these are our ASICs. Now next point is logic devices. So logical devices provides specific function. Now we are already these ASICs or different RISC, CISC, but in there we are using logic devices are most important, which is specific functions, including device to device or interfacing data communication or signal processing, data display, timing and control operations and every other function in a system. So must perform. So logic devices can be classified into two broad categories, which is fixed logic device and programmable logic device. We can say PLDs. So which is programmable logic devices. There are major two types in programmable logic devices. First one is CPLD, complex programmable logic device, and second FPGA, which is field programmable gate array. Now next is advantages of programmable logic devices. So it allows customers to order just number of parts as they want. our orders fulfillment through these programmable logic devices. So it offers much more customers for flexibility during the design cycle. When we use the different functions, we are using PLD in our system or in our designing cycle. So it can be we can say reprogrammable. Next point is it does not require customers to pay for large NRE costs and purchase expensive mask sets. So we have not to pay for the large NRE costs. So thank you very much.